get a bat like this that's just the same length that you swing, that's 1.5 ounces or 1 ounce heavier, and just see how all of a sudden your swing mechanics will get cleaned up. You're going to get to balls faster because of that.
Level. This is why.
All right, guys, hey, we're back with another video today. We're going to talk about what I think, and kind of this is an old school kind of secret, is going on with a lot of young players, not only in high school, but certainly in college and pro ball. And this is something that I learned in my career. There's a great video out by D1 Baseball. Again, guys, if you follow college baseball, I highly recommend going to D1 Baseball's website. If you really enjoy college baseball and college baseball content, like it's 100% worth the subscription there. But they have a great story out in one of their episodes about, the Japanese phenom Rintaro Sasaki and how big of a bat he swung in summer ball this past summer when he made his way over to the States. Obviously, he's going to be a freshman at Stanford this year in the ACC. Going to be really exciting to watch. But what they basically said was he's swinging right now a 34, I think, and a half inch bat and 33 ounces. Now, if you're a high school player or college player out there, you're looking at that and thinking, oh my gosh, that is a massive bat. It's huge. I could never swing a bat like that. That only big, huge power guys can swing bats that big. I want you to guess what size bat I swung in pro ball as basically a 5'10", 175-pound center fielder who's a speed guy. Think about it for a second. I want you to guess the length and weight of the bat that I swung for most of my career. And I'll talk about why I went to that size and length, or that weight and length, afterwards. So take 5 seconds, make your guess. Okay. So I swung a 33 and a half, 32 ounce bat. Now, that's not what I always swung. When I first got to pro ball, I was swinging something like again, same length, 33 and a half, 30 and a half. Now, so I was swinging a drop 3, kind of the same thing most of you guys are swinging in high school, most of you guys are swinging in college. Now, what I keep hearing is that everybody in college is way stronger now, the weight rooms are way better, they swing the bat harder than ever before. So why are they swinging a drop 3? And I'll let me talk about this just for a little bit. So obviously you guys know my dad, Major League Baseball, GM, front office executive, couple World Series rings, played professionally, coached professionally, scouted. My whole life he was involved in Major League Baseball as a front office executive and decision maker. So I'm like 2 years into my pro career. I'm doing well. And I'm struggling to start the year maybe in 2016. So I had been, I got drafted in 2013, did really well. 2014, I was an all-star, made it to AA, second half, did really well. And then 2015, started in AA, was an all-star, made it to AAA, struggled a little bit up there, hit like 250. So 2016, I'm back in AA. And I'm struggling to start the year again. I told you guys a bunch of times, April was my worst month every year. And my dad said, I think you're swinging too light of a bat. And I thought, what are you talking about? I mean, I'm not swinging too light of a bat. If I make it any heavier, I'm not going to be able to get the bat through the zone. And he told me something that I'll never forget, and this makes so much sense. And we'll talk about an example why. He said, most old school hitting coaches, which, there's not many of those guys around anymore. One of the things they believe in the game today is that guys are swinging too light of a bat. And think about it like this. If you're up there with a wiffle ball bat, one of the things that's very difficult when you're swinging a wiffle ball bat against a wiffle ball is the bat is so light, it's actually much harder to control the barrel than it is for a heavier bat. Like let's say like a drop 3 wood bat or metal bat. It's much easier to control the barrel and understand where the barrel is in your swing with a heavier bat than a wiffle ball bat, because it's so light you can swing it everywhere, right? You don't feel the barrel at all. So I took his advice and said, you know what, I'm struggling. I'm going to listen to you. So I got a 33 and a half, 32 ounce bat, which for most guys would think like that was a heavier bat than most guys that I played with. So what were the results? So that year in AAA, I started using that bat, got up to, made the All-Star team again, and beginning of June, get called up AAA again, swinging this 32-ounce bat. I ended up having the best year of my career in about 360 plate appearances in AAA, so a little bit over half the year. I hit 339 with a 420 plus on base percentage, 400 plus, 430 slugging percentage, and just had the best year of my life. And that all started after I switched to this heavier bat. Now there's a couple reasons for that. One, I did feel like, because I didn't go up in length, I really didn't feel this shift in weight very much. The 1.5 ounces more, it didn't feel like a lot heavier. I'll give you an example. When I would try out like a 34-inch bat, but it was still like a 30.5 or a 31, it felt way heavier. And that's because obviously the longer the lever, you got to generate more force to get that to move. So the longer the bat, my rule of thumb after making this adjustment was always, you're gonna feel the bat being heavier when you lengthen it than when you just add weight. I was already used to this 33.5-inch bat. By adding weight, I didn't really feel like it was that much heavier. But what I did notice is when I barreled the ball up, because this is a 32-ounce, 33.5-inch bat, the wood used to make that bat has to be much denser, right? Because if I'm using the exact same model, and this is 1.5 ounces lighter, that means they're just getting less dense wood. There's no other way. It's exact same model, it's exact same size, it's the same amount of wood that's used to make it, but when it's an extra 1.5 ounces heavier, it's a denser wood, meaning it's harder. And when I hit the ball, I really noticed that double in the gap that the outfielder maybe cuts off and prevents me from getting a triple, all of a sudden, that's not getting cut off. I hit a really good, hit a shot over the right fielder's head, it's getting out of the park, or it's getting off the wall and burning the guy. So when you're using a denser bat, whether it's I don't even know if they make metal bats like this, but certainly in pro ball or in college summer leagues, guys, do not be afraid to use a heavier bat. The hits, again, you're not really going to feel it, and when you sting the ball, it's going to stay hit longer because you're using a denser wood. So when you're training, I highly recommend using some weighted bats or just a heavier bat in general, not like that doesn't mean you need some kind of drive line end weighted bat or knob weighted bat. Those are fine as long as you're using them correctly. But if you have a wood bat that's similar in size to this, and you're swinging that, again, because it's heavier, you're going to recognize things in your inefficient parts in your swing right away, and your body, you should be able to kind of self-organize to fix those things. Like when I first started swinging this in BP, it felt slightly heavier, right? It wasn't a massive deal, but I could definitely tell this is a heavier bat. The more I swung it, it cleaned up some of my mechanics, because in order to get this heavier bat through the zone as fast as this 33.5-inch and 30.5-ounce bat, I had to have a more efficient path. And so what happens a lot, guys, if you're swinging too light of a bat, you're able to get away with inefficiencies in your swing, if that makes sense. Because the bat is lighter, and I can get it through the zone maybe a little bit faster, I actually don't need to be as efficient with my path as I should be. So I may have some inefficiencies in my path, but I'm still able to get to the ball with the light bat. Heavier bat is going to clean up those efficiencies way more. And again, I made that change, and all of a sudden I had the best year of my career. And ultimately the rest of my career, all I swung was 33.5, 32-ounce bat. The model would be a Old Hickory R58, best model in the world. Again, I didn't have very big hands, so I did not like a super thick handle. I like the handle pretty thin, and an R58 was kind of like a 271 with a thinner handle, which I really liked. So if you're curious about that, again, Old Hickory R58. That was the model I swung, and Garrett Cooper, also a teammate of mine who played in the big leagues I still may be playing, swung that as well. That's who I got it from. But do not be afraid to kind of up the weight a little bit of your bat. Again, I don't know metal bats now if you can make it less than a drop 3, But if you want to go from a drop 3 to a drop 1.5 or a drop 2, I think it'll be funny because you will realize that it actually doesn't feel much heavier at all. You're expecting it to feel way different, and there is going to be a slight difference in it, but you're not going to feel it the way you would if you made this a 34-inch bat or a 34.5-inch bat. So, I mean, Rintaro Sasaki, this is a massive bat, but again, there's a lot of pro guys that are not much different than that. And again, he's just a little bit ahead of the curve. Trust me, you hit the ball with a 33-ounce bat versus a 30.5-ounce bat, this thing's going way further. This thing is staying hit longer, the exit velo's harder, everything like that. So the key for you guys is find the happy medium where you still feel like you got really good bat speed, but it's as heavy as a bat as you can get to, because ultimately your batted ball results are going to be better if every time you hit the ball, it's hit slightly harder with a denser bat. So again, for some of you guys, this may not apply with metal bats, but if you're using wood bats in the summer, using wood bats in college summer leagues, or if you're in pro ball watching this, do not be afraid to kind of up the weight and just test it out. Whoever you get your bats from, just tell them, hey, can you send me like 4 of these, the same model that I use with 32 ounces or 31.5 or whatever. And I'll tell you this, the higher you go up in the minor leagues, when you get up to like AAA, like almost no one is swinging a drop 3. Guys are swinging a drop 2 or a drop 1.5 like I did, or a drop 1. I played with a lot of guys that swung like 33.5, 32.5, or 34, 33s. 34.5, 33 is really big. I mean, I think Aaron Judge is the only one who may be bigger than that I know of, and like Giancarlo Stanton and some of those guys. But that's still a massive bat for Rintaro Sasaki. And I'm interested to see at Stanford, what size bat is he going to swing at Stanford? I don't know if they can make those for him. If they can, that'll be awesome to see, because he may hit some absolute nukes. So hope this helps, guys. Again, especially in training, maybe you can't do this in the game, but get a bat like this that's just the same length that you swing, that's 1.5 ounces or an ounce heavier, and just see how all of a sudden your swing mechanics will get cleaned up. You're going to get to balls faster because of that. Hope this helps, guys. Again, remember, hit that like and subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Likes really help us with the algorithm. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you think I'm an idiot. Maybe you think, hey, Al, you should be swinging the lightest bat possible. Well, we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments.